Yeah, it keeps coming over here. You must like the way I smell. Hello everybody, this is Jason Merkel with Horizon Hobby, and I'm joined here today by Mr. Matt Andren, and we're here to talk to you guys about our newest product release from E-flite, which is the all-new Vapor Lite HP.
Yeah.
So the Vapor Lite HP, the name is somewhat telling because it's a Vapor.
Correct.
Obviously, clearly, you know, we've got the family of Vapor airplanes here. It's light because it's lighter weight than, say, the Night Vapor.
Correct, yeah.
In particular.
Yep.
And then it's HP because it's high performance.
Right.
Or also high power to a degree.
Yeah, you could either or, I would say,
Yeah.
for that one.
So tell me the #1 change between this and, say, a Night Vapor. What's the biggest difference between those two?
Truthfully, what we did is, you know, we took kind of the mini Vapor airframe, added a lot more wing area to get it to fly very similar in terms of wing loading to the Night Vapor. You know, so they fly about the same speed. But the real benefit to the Vapor Lite is, you know, we have a very high power motor on it. Basically, the motor is actually more powerful than even the Night Vapor motor, and a smaller airframe that's about 3/4 the weight. So you really see the performance increase in terms of being able to climb vertically and stuff like that. Also, we did increase the control throws. We added some extra holes so you can actually get more rudder and elevator throw to be able to do really tight loops and some of the cool spins like you see in the video and stuff like that. So between the power and the extra control throw, it really gives you that extra performance over a traditional Vapor.
So the reason I asked that question is because a lot of people think that this is a Night Vapor just made smaller, but that's actually not true.
Correct.
Really, it starts more from the Mini Vapor.
Yes.
We have effectively the same fuselage/stick, same tail surfaces.
Correct.
So that's why it seems short coupled, because obviously the Mini Vapor originally was, but then the wing has been enlarged.
Right.
So you start with the Mini Vapor, you put a bigger wing on it, and then we put a more powerful power system.
Exactly.
And in the end, I think the result is, and of course more control throw, which is cool, because like in the video, guys, watch the video, make sure you check that out. There's some interesting stuff in there. There's a really cool spin that you do.
Yeah, and I mean, this thing will do a loop in probably about a foot and a half, which you just cannot do with a traditional Night Vapor. I mean, it takes a lot more area to do a loop. You know, you actually have to dive to get a little bit of energy to be able to get through the top.
Yes.
This thing you can just kind of do loops from level flight very easily.
So it's got more control throw, more power. That's what makes that possible. Wing loading is now more in the ballpark of the original Vapor or the Night Vapor.
Correct.
Mini Vapor was relatively highly loaded. It just had to fly more on step or a high alpha the whole time, but also rocked a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't a really great experience.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the wing and the stab are almost the same size. There just wasn't a lot of roll compensation there for it. With this one, you know, you definitely have a lighter feel in the air. It floats a little bit better.
Yeah.
You know, it just feels a little bit easier to fly than even the Mini Vapor.
Yeah, plus the Mini Vapor is just kind of funny looking. The proportions are just, you know, they are what you described, and that's part of why it did work, but maybe didn't work as well as I think some people expected, and that's the big difference. So hopefully we can show this on the camera here. So we've got, if we pull all three and show you kind of the plan forms, you guys can see that there is a noticeable size difference between the two. The Mini Vapor and even the Vapor Lite HP. And the big thing is, of course, the wing. However, it's a substantial size difference to the Night Vapor. The Night Vapor is kind of big, relatively speaking.
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of shocking when you get them side by side to see how much bigger a Night Vapor actually is compared to the Vapor Lite.
Yep, so the Vapor Lite is, I think, a great combination of size, power, control. And then let's talk about this really quick, the price. Yep. I think it's a phenomenal value. So we've got two versions available.
Yep.
We have a ready-to-fly version. Of course, you know, a lot of people don't need that. They already know how to fly. But let's say you want somebody to learn how to fly either inside or in a garage or in their house or whatever. That's available for $99.
Yes.
$99.99.
That's a great deal for what you're getting.
Everything's in there. The airplane comes out of the box fully assembled. And then we also have the bind and fly basic version, which is only $69.99.
Yeah.
$70. You pull it out of the box, you buy it into your Spectrum transmitter, you stick in a 1S, 70 milliamp.
Yep, you can pretty much use
150.
You can use anything from basically a 30 milliamp to about a 150 milliamp on this airplane. Obviously, the 150 will give you a little bit more wing loading, so the 70 is kind of the sweet spot. It gives you good flight time, good power, and just kind of everything you want from the airplane.
So it's a phenomenal value. And you just pull it out of the box and fly it.
Exactly.
You don't have to assemble anything.
Nope.
What's really nice is that all the Vapors have had this carbon fiber, and then I don't know exactly what the material is. Is it Mylar?
It's kind of a Mylar plastic film. We like to call it vapor paper.
Vapor paper. It's not, I wouldn't say indestructible, but it is dang tough. You can cut it with a knife very easily, but flicking it, running into things.
And you can see the airframe is really flexible, so you bang into a wall or anything, you're probably not going to break anything.
Let's bring that up really quick. So, Matt's been a developer for a very long time, done a lot of development. In fact, Matt has the distinction, I don't know if this is a good thing or not, of being the developer that's developed our slowest airplanes. Thanks for that, Matt. So he developed, obviously, the Vapor Lite, which is one of our slowest airplanes, and the Timber series.
Yes.
So you've got the big Timber and now the Ultra Micro Timber, which is really hard to get. We know that. We're doing the best we can. But yeah, that actually, oddly enough, is going to change soon. Yeah, so we'll get to that at a later date. But in the meantime, when you were developing this, I remember going through you went through multiple airframe iterations. We had more flexible airframes,
yes,
which the wing would flex. It kind of would add dihedral, could stabilize it, but also made it get a little wonky.
Right, and especially when, with the additional power, if you got high speed or did kind of the spins or any kind of diving hard pull-ups, you can see the wing really flex just a little too much.
Yeah, so you went to a stiffer material, but not too stiff. You need some of this flexibility for the durability and everything like that. So I think in the end we ended up with the best compromise.
Yeah.
And so a lot of guys maybe don't realize that. We really, truly develop our products here. We get a sample, fly the heck out of it, especially here in the office, and then you say, hey, it's too flexible, send me another stiffer one. Let's go up this X% in stiffness. And I think the end result is something that's a little bit flexible, but it's still probably the right rigidity for what we're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so talk about the space that you can fly this in.
Truthfully, you can pretty much fly it just about in any room in your house.
Okay.
If you have, once you kind of learn its kind of idiosyncrasies, what it can do and how tight you can turn it. Truthfully, we could fly it in this area right here very comfortably.
Easily.
So, in the video, we actually flew it into a bathroom and back out. So, you can fly it in a tight area.
Yes, you can.
The turning radius is less than the span of this table. So
the one thing I noticed too in the video in particular, people can see this, is that the Night Vapor, the original Vapor in particular, when you were in level flight, they're relatively fast, relatively large. They covered a lot of space.
Yeah.
So you had to high alpha around a lot, which is a little bit uncomfortable for some people. But what's nice about the Vapor Lite, you don't have to be high alpha all the time.
No. Depending on where you put the battery on the stick and how you trim it, you can get it at a very nice, comfortable kind of cruise speed where you're really not touching anything. It's flying on the wing. It's not using power to kind of harry around.
Yeah.
And fly it very comfortably. But when you want to, you can easily start cranking in the elevator and adding power and harry it almost slower than a walking speed.
What I liked about it is that you can pull into the Harrier, and I remember the original Vapor had almost enough power on a good battery. You could Harrier and almost hover, maybe even pull out a little bit, but then it would start to sink down.
Yeah.
This thing, it'll go into a hover, and it'll punch out.
Yeah, absolutely. We're unfortunately, at sea level, so guys at higher altitude may not have that same performance. But if you're using a fairly fresh battery, you're going to get vertical performance out of this airplane.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of power here, and it's not necessary. It's not a 3D airplane.
No,
that's not the intent. But obviously, having that level of power, there's a cool part in the video where you're in that like 2-story room in the house, and you just pull and go almost all the way to the ceiling.
Exactly.
It's a pretty cool
we've had a lot of fun flying around here, like in our atrium and stuff. We got some planes hanging there, and it's fun to do vertical climbs and do loops over the airplanes in our atrium, stuff like that. So it's definitely been a lot of fun developing this product, and I think it's just a great addition to the Vapor line.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal value. We talked about that. $69.99 for the Bite and Fly Basic version, $99.99 for the RTF version. That means it's going to be probably a really great Christmas gift.
Absolutely.
And we'll also mention that we won't be getting these until about early December. So if you want one and you want to make sure you get one in time for Christmas, you want to get one in time for indoor flying season, you got to pre-order it now.
Yeah.
The Ultra Micro Timber, I say this in almost all of our videos. We do our best to get as much here as possible, but what's been happening is a lot of our new releases are outselling the shipment.
Exactly.
So if you want to get your hands on one, make sure you pre-order it right away at your favorite local hobby shop. Go to horizonhobby.com, back order it there. You can back order at your favorite online shop. Just make sure you get an order in, get your pre-order in now. That way you're higher up on the list, so you're more likely to get one.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think it's going to be the hot thing to have. You can fly it in literally any house right now.
Yeah, and with winter season coming up for a lot of people in the country, having something you can kind of get your addiction to RC still and be able to fly when it's windy or cold outside, it's a lot of fun.
Well, it's been a few years since we've had something like this. The Night Vapor's been around for a long time now, and it's a
Yeah.
great product. It sells actually still very, very well.
Oh, absolutely. It's a good airplane. It's got the lights so you can fly it, when it's darker out and stuff like that. And that's one of the things on this. We really tried to make it, again, high performance, so it doesn't have lights. It doesn't have really anything extra that it doesn't need.
Right. So the downside to the Night Vapor, and it's a great product, don't get me wrong, but for some people that have a more normal size house or a small house, you really can't enjoy it inside.
Right. You're basically turning the whole time.
Or you're high alpha the whole time. The Vapor Lite is going to give you a very different experience. So if you already have a Night Vapor, you still need a Vapor Lite.
Oh, absolutely. It is a different flying experience with the power and the extra throw. I mean, you can do maneuvers you just cannot do with the larger Vapor. So.
Yeah, it's a lot more fun to fly. Plus, it's got a cool trim scheme on it. It's it looks definitely more modern, more cool. It's still got the durability that everybody remembers. That's nice. Obviously, you just pull it out of the box and you fly it. You can't beat that.
Exactly.
I'll point out, it does not have AS3X.
It does not, no.
We talked about this briefly before the video. Some people said, why doesn't it have AS3X? Well, it's made to fly inside.
And typically there's not a lot of wind inside.
Not a lot of wind inside. So also AS3X, the boards are larger, which means more weight, more expense. And so unfortunately we just consciously chose not to put it in because it's not really necessary here. But that said, you can still fly it outside, right?
Oh, absolutely. And in the video, it was a nice calm evening, and you could see it being kicked around a little bit by the breezes, but it handled it no problem.
Yeah, so it's a good airplane that you can still take outside and fly. You can fly it in your garage.
Yep.
We show a little bit of that in the video. If you have like a 2-car garage, you can have a blast.
Oh, absolutely.
In there, without a doubt.
You got tons of room in a 2-car garage. I mean, I was flying around the table, and I had all the room I needed to fly.
I like how when you landed on the countertop, I mean, that was not a lot of distance.
No, it was smaller than this table, and
no problem.
Really wasn't a challenge at all. I mean, it was more of a challenge to make it look smooth versus just kind of plopping it down, but it did it very easily.
Yep. Now, a couple people have brought up, we did in the past, we had basically a Vapor / Night Vapor with an FPV camera on it.
Correct.
The FPV Vapor.
Yeah.
So some guys have said, can I put a camera on the Vapor Lite?
You probably could. Again, obviously with the less wing area than the standard size Vapor, which carries a camera, you're going to have to be very conscious about weight and realize it's just not going to be able to fly as slow. But with the extra power, it'll definitely carry it.
The power's there.
Yeah.
And we have one of those integrated cameras from Spectrum, which has the integrated VTX, and it will work.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily the best choice of model to do it with. But hey, that said, if you need a new Vapor and you like FPV, great. Go for it.
Absolutely.
It can be done. We just didn't necessarily put the provision in there for that.
Correct.
But you'll be able to stick the camera up here.
Yeah, a little piece of double-sided tape or something. You're good to go.
Yeah. So I think it's a phenomenal product overall. Have we had any questions come up on the live feed? No? Yeah, it's good. That means we're answering them all.
All right.
That's pretty good for us. So, well, I'll tell you what, guys. Again, you got to make sure if you want one in time for Christmas, whether you want it for a gift, get the RTF for somebody you know that's learning how to fly. If you want to buy and fly for yourself, buy and fly for a family member, whatever it might be, make sure you pre-order it now. Again, your favorite local hobby shop, your favorite online hobby shop, or at horizonhobby.com.
Yep.
It will be coming in around the first to second week of December, so a little tight on Christmas time, but that's why I want to let you guys know about it now so you can plan ahead.
Exactly.
Put it on your gift list now. Let your friends know about it. Let your family know about it. Tell them to make sure to pre-order it now so you get it in time. You don't want to be the one guy after Christmas that doesn't have one.
Right.
That would be a bummer. So, yeah, again, phenomenal value, $69.99, $99.99 for the RTF. Flies great.
Yep.
Looks good. It's darn durable.
Yeah.
You can still break it, but if you break it, you definitely hit pretty darn hard. And I think the flying experience is better than the Mini Vapor.
Yeah.
Different than the Night Vapor. To a point where if you already have one or you already have a regular Vapor, this is still a phenomenal choice.
It is.
Yeah, something that you definitely want to have. So be sure you guys check out the video. Some other cool things in there. Yeah. At any rate, thank you guys.